On this edition of Rays All Access, they're the playoff moments from 2020 that we can't stop talking about. And we'll hear from the players that made postseason history.
And for there to be 2 errors on a routine ground ball and then a throw home, like that doesn't happen, right? And then Randy to fall down in queue to get up and just go home.
We'll check in on the best farm system in baseball with Prospect Spotlight, and he's getting a fresh start in a familiar place. Chris Archer on his return to the Rays. Welcome to Rays All Access. I'm Tricia Whitaker. Well, it goes without saying that the expectations for the 2021 Rays are running high. With a solid core of returning players, a stockpile of the usual highly touted prospects, and some intriguing offseason additions, a third straight trip to the postseason isn't just a possibility. It's now the standard. But before we turn the page on 2020, let's take a look back at some of our favorite postseason moments. And you know that we have to start with Mike Brosseau. Game 5 of the ALDS, bottom of the 8th, facing Yankees closer Aroldis Chapman.
3-2, Brosseau sends one into left field. Gardner going back, and it is up and gone!
At the time, obviously just trying to drive something. I think the biggest thing was just knowing how late in the game it was getting, and you know, their bullpen was kind of getting depleted, our bullpen was getting depleted a little bit. So I think the biggest thing was just trying to, not just only trying to get on base, but trying to get in scoring position and trying to do some damage at the plate. So I think it was just, I don't know, it was more the storyline that happened afterwards and kind of playing all together. But at the moment, it wasn't just thinking about Aroldis Chapman on the mound or anything that's happened in the past. It was more just trying to get in that scoring position and you know, it was late in the game, 5-game series, so it was just, try to do some damage against a team and move on to the next round.
Didn't think at all about the 100-mile-per-hour fastball that was thrown at your head?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone knew the history and you know, it's such a prominent name and a rival team throughout the year, and I mean, storyline was there, but at the moment it didn't flash in my head now.
Bigger picture? Bigger picture for sure. Did you know that ball was gone the moment that you put the barrel on the ball?
I knew it was hit well. I didn't know if it was high enough at the moment, but as soon as I saw kind of Gardner turn around a little bit, kind of saw his numbers, I knew it had a better chance.
What are you thinking as you're rounding the bases?
I was trying to slap Ozzy's hand rounding around first. I think I missed, and then once I kind of hit first, I think I just let out a big scream. I wasn't really thinking much. I was kind of just, it was a really just amazing feeling. And then once I hit third and seeing everybody in the dugout, kind of just taking each step closer to them, it was the build-up of getting to greet them in the dugout was pretty cool. I might have had to go into concussion protocols after that. It was pretty cool. It was just getting in the dugout, everybody just going absolute bananas. Helmet kind of came off pretty early, I think. A couple head slaps there, so yeah, no reception like that anywhere in the past. Hopefully we can get some more in the future though.
Mike, that home run vaulted the Rays into the ALCS. That's the next step from 2019 that they could not get to. That was one of their goals, to reach that step this season. You're the one that helped them do that. How does that feel to be a part of that big of a moment in franchise history?
It's kind of poetic in a way where, you know, they took a chance on me 4 years ago as an undrafted guy, and to kind of help them get into a position where, you know, they wanted to be and haven't been for a while. Kind of come full circle, and it's pretty cool. I think, it just adds a little bit more, adds another chapter of the story.
Kevin Cash says that's the greatest moment that he's been a part of in baseball. What does that mean to you, knowing a manager like Kevin Cash, who's seen a lot of moments in baseball, says that's one of the best moments?
That's obviously a guy that I highly respect. And to hear that come out of his mouth is something that's, it's really, really just unbelievable to kind of hear all the stuff that he's been through and his career and coaching career and yeah, to have that one special moment that I don't know that I had a big part in, to hear him say that that's a pretty one of the most memorable moments he's ever had on a baseball field. It's unbelievable. It's a really cool feeling.
Last hope for the Astros. And on the first pitch, in the air, right field, that is playable. Coming in, Margot, and that's it. The Tampa Bay Rays have won the American League pennant.
Pete, you closed out Game 7 of the ALCS to send your team to the World Series. What are the emotions like when you're on the mound in that moment?
I went back and watched the video today in anticipation of having to try and recollect about it, because I had a phone interview for the magazine the other day, and it wasn't great because I'm not very good at retrospection in any way. But no, I mean it's a moment that you may only get once in a life, and there's only one guy that gets to do it for any certain team. So I mean, to be able to, have the trust of Snides and Cash and everybody else that was able to, allow me to be in that spot to perform for everybody else was just an incredible moment.
Well, let me remind you, you allowed a couple inherited runners to score. Then you come back out in the 9th inning with a 4-2 lead to protect. What is that like, coming back out knowing you got to protect this lead or you're not going to the World Series?
Yeah, I would say the 9th was much easier, to go out to a clean inning and kind of, you get the strikeout of Bregman, kind of calm me back down, get me back, within myself, and know, going out that I have, my fastballs are good against, most of the guys who are coming up, and just to know that plan that Snides has, hey, we're going to attack the zone, we're going to get after it, to kind of, settle you down and get back in it, and then after that, it's just pitching.
Any extra gratification knowing that this is the Astros offense that you quieted?
That's a good fastball hitting team, so, I mean, they're good. 2017 behind any of it. I mean, they're still a bunch of good hitters, so to be able to beat a good fastball hitting club is awesome. I think more so, it's better for the group of guys that we had in that clubhouse to be able to, go to a World Series and try and see what you can do on that stage. But no, Astros are the Astros. Everybody's, they are their teams. I still think that I'm focused on, the guys in the clubhouse, especially in that scenario. And it's all really a blur. I remember pointing at a pop-up, and I never point at pop-ups, but I felt like it was good in the moment, just because I was making sure that it wasn't leaving the yard, and then Manny catches it, and all hell breaks loose. I honestly couldn't tell you much of that 15-minute stretch after we won. I remember just kind of walking away from everything multiple times, just kind of catch my breath and just try and take in the moment for what it was and not let it really pass me by.
Jansen. That is into center field. Here comes Kiermaier. Phillips has tied the game. Arrows Arena coming around. Throw home. Now he stumbles. But the ball gets away. Tampa Bay wins it. Brett Phillips, Game 4 hero.
All right, Brett, for what is probably the 3,000th time since it happened, take me through the moment that you stepped up to the plate in that Game 4 of the World Series, knowing that you were one of the last shots they had.
I think just the craziest part about the moment is the circumstances leading up to the moment. Obviously, if you go back and watch Game 4, it's one of the best World Series games ever, with Dodgers being ahead almost every inning, but us coming back and keeping it a one-run lead throughout the game. And me not being on the ALCS roster, to only having one at-bat in the World Series, to my name being called upon to, be the last guy to possibly help this team win. And, obviously I wouldn't be there if the Tampa Bay Rays didn't believe that I could have gotten the job done. I believe that, walking up to the plate, that I was going to help us win that game. So, it was just kind of a surreal moment, out-of-body experience, so to say, after the fact. But just crazy moment overall. So when I came off the field for, out number 3 in the top of the 9th, I go up to Paul and I'm like, where am I at in the batting order? He said, you're coming up 5th. You're going to win this game for us. On the outside, I was like, let's go win this game. But on the inside, I was like, are you serious? dude, I haven't had it at bat in 14 days. You're gonna, you know, what's going on? Did you have a dream about this? Like, are you just tell everyone, hey, you're gonna win this game for us? But that was a really cool moment for him to say, hey, you're gonna win this game for us, and then I go out there and help this team win. But, you know, going back to my team and Kevin Cash, you know, I wouldn't be in that situation if it wasn't for them. First of all, like, that doesn't happen especially in a World Series game, right? 2 errors in one play where you're down to the last pitch, your peak focus, right? Like, everyone on that field is locked in, and then for there to be 2 errors on a routine ground ball and then a throw home, like, that doesn't happen, right? And then Randy to fall down in queue to get up and just go home, like, I don't even know if that was even decided or like that was just like, I'm just going to score. But things that don't happen in a Major League Baseball game happening in the World Series is it's kind of crazy, kind of like an Angels in the outfield type situation for me. But, you know, all around, just, it was a crazy game.
Brett, you literally couldn't breathe after that moment happened. You're airplaning through the field, and then we hear you on the broadcast tell KK and Austin Meadows that you can't breathe. You had to get treatment. What happened?
Let's rewind for a second. In that moment, like when I hit the ball, normally, you know, you're gonna at least tie the scoring run. A guy maybe would be like fist pumping, or like, if you look at me, like I'm doing nothing. I'm just locked in on the play. Like, I'm just running as if I'm hustling a double. And then I get to second, I see Randy score, and that's when the helmet comes off, and I'm still kind of like 75% speed, like airplaning around the outfield. But what happened was, Trisha, I took off on empty, right? Like, I didn't feel the plane before I took off. You know, I wasn't conditioned for that. So then I'm out of breath as it is, and then when guys came and dogpiled me, I couldn't breathe, literally. And that's when I almost passed out. I said the walls were caving in on me. They were literally caving in on me. The first player ever to pass out from like excitement on a bit. Like, who does that? Like, such a dork.
Arozarena has destroyed fastballs, and he hits that one into right center field. That ball is well hit, and Randy Arozarena does it again.
Randy, you were the breakout star of the postseason. When you look back on your journey and you think about what you've been through, defecting from Cuba, losing your father, and then you made some history in the playoffs, what does that mean to you when you look back at what you've been through?
Bueno, significó algo muy importante para mí, estar en mi segunda temporada.
No, it was something that was very special to me. It was my second playoff run in my career, and then this time around getting into the World Series, it was very special. It reminds you to go back into your youth and look back at all the hard work and all the goals that you want to achieve in something like this, but it was very special.
En el juego 4 de la serie mundial, que fue un juego muy peleado.
Yeah, I would say Game 4 of the World Series. You know, obviously it was a battle on both sides. Both teams were going. You know, we were leading, they were leading. It was just kind of a fight up and down. You know, a lot of emotions were going on, and with it being the Game 4 of the World Series, it was very special, and that was something that I'll never forget.
Yo cuando estaba en la primera base corriendo, yo estaba muy bien enfocado en eso.
There's actually several situations that were going on in my head that I was thinking about as far as the play happening. First and foremost, I was thinking the only way I can score is if there's a ball in the gap. So I already had in my head, if he hits in the gap, I'm going to run as hard as I can to score. I also knew that Kiermaier was on second, and that a base hit will definitely score him, and that the throw was going to go home because he was on second. So if there was going to be a single, I was going to try to go hard first and third no matter what. Obviously the hit happened. I just kept on going hard. I saw the center fielder that he misplayed the ball, and you know, I just ran as hard as I can, even though I fell on my way to third, or on the way to home. But it was very fun and a very exciting game.
Okay, but you fell. When you fell, and you were put in a situation when the Dodgers committed 2 errors to try to decide what to do, you thought you were going to get in a rundown, but you weren't sure what was going to happen. What's going through your head?
Cuando me caí siempre fue...
Once I fell, all I was thinking about was to get in a rundown. I knew that if I at least got in a rundown, it would make it a tougher out for them. You know, I didn't want to just give in and give them an out just like that. So this is type of game that you have to be very concentrated on because of the situation of the game and the intensity of the game. So once I fell and then I got up, kept my eyes up, I saw that the ball was misplayed by the catcher, so I took off at home and scored.
Welcome back to Rays All Access. As a part of this show, we will be spotlighting some of the top prospects in the Rays farm system, and where better to start than the top prospect in all of baseball. That would be Wander Franco. Wander, this is your second straight year of being the top prospect in baseball. That comes with the art of balance, balancing the expectations and sometimes the pressure. How do you handle that?
Bueno, primeramente yo doy gracias a Dios.
No, first of all, thank God that I'm in that position. I don't feel like there's much pressure. As long as I keep doing the work that I always do and maintain that, I don't think the pressure will really be a factor in this, as long as I just keep on working hard and have a good attitude.
What was your first big league camp experience like? I remember Chad Matola saying, you know, there's a lot of hype surrounding you, but he said one thing that stuck out to me. He said, you sure don't let it get to you. What was that experience like?
Bueno, mi experiencia estuvo súper buena.
No, it's definitely, I feel really, really good, especially hearing stuff like that from the coaches. But like I said, I didn't feel much pressure at all, but I will admit that I was nervous the first time I went out there.
One of the guys who sings your praises is Willy Adames. He talks a lot about how he gave you some advice. He talked to you a little bit. And this is a guy who could act completely differently, knowing that, you know, you could come in and take his job. But the fact that he was so welcoming towards you and helpful, how did that help you?
No, Willy Adames es una tremenda persona.
Yeah, Willie and I have a great relationship. He's a tremendous person. He's a tremendous teammate. And yeah, he's helped me in a lot of different ways. And, you know, I can't control what, even though we play the same position, I can't control the decisions they make. If I got to play second base or if I got to move another position, I will do so. But I think the most important part is the friendship that him and I have and the help he's given me.
Right when Randy Arozarena got traded here, I heard that you guys started a pretty special friendship. What's that friendship like with Randy now?
Llevámonos súper bien.
Yeah, you know, as soon as he got traded over to the team, we had to go to an early camp, a little program early in camp, and that's where we got along real good. You know, his friendship is really good between us, and he's a good guy.
Wander, do you head into this year kind of thinking that this could be your year to get called up to the majors?
Claro, yo estoy listo.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready. I'm always going to be ready, but the decision at the end of the day is the organization's, and I'm just going to keep on playing. And like I said, I'm ready to go, and I'm hoping that this is the year.
Where is it right now that you want to focus your attention in order to be ready for that major league level?
No, solamente.
Thank God there isn't one thing that I like to work on. You know, as long as I stick to my routine and my everyday training, I think that's all that's going to keep me prepared, but not just one thing.
You mentioned you feel ready to join that team. Can you tell me a little bit why you feel ready to join that team?
Yo siempre estoy ready.
I have a lot of confidence in myself. You know, I know I say I'm ready, but yeah, I'm always very ready. And however way, you know, whenever I get called up, you know, I have my faith in God that I'll come up when it's meant to be, but, you know, I'm always ready no matter what.
Well, Wander, we cannot wait for that day that we finally see you up here. We're ready for you too. Thank you so much for joining us. Unfortunately for Chris Archer, a promising second appearance on the mound ended with him leaving the game early with tightness in his forearm. But setback aside, Arch has enthusiastically embraced returning to the Rays, where he became a big leaguer and an all-star.
The excitement level was through the roof. Coming somewhere so familiar after a couple tough years, I knew it was going to be a good place for me to grow, good environment for me. And after watching all the fun those guys had, that was one of my main priorities, is getting back to having fun again. Being healthy, getting back to having fun again, and winning baseball games. And whenever I looked at it, there was no better place than here for that.
We're excited to have him back. I'm excited to have him back. I think Arch is, he's probably in a little bit different mindset than when he left. When you deal with injuries as a pitcher, I think your mindset changes a little bit and you appreciate being healthy that much more. So Arch was a guy that, wanted the ball every fifth day. He had, a mark of an innings to throw every season. I think he wants to feel healthy. And if he's healthy and he's right, he can be really, really special for us.
And a swing and a miss. He got him.
I have a lot of gratitude because I've dealt with a lot of injuries and I wasn't able to be in the clubhouse environment at all last year. I wasn't able to be on the baseball field at all. So it humbled me a lot. And I've really put my ego to the side. Not that it was like overly big before, but I put my ego to the side and just going to go out there and have fun and have gratitude every single time I touch the baseball.
We know Chris. We saw him evolve from the time we acquired him from Chicago, to the time that we traded him to Pittsburgh. And we know the person, know the work ethic, know the talent. And this is someone that we believe in.
Familiarity with the organization and established relationships with teammates like Willy Adames are two big reasons that Archer is back in a Rays uniform.
He's like a little brother to me, but it's not one-sided. Like, I learned things from him, and I told him, I said, hey, if you see me out there not in the greatest headspace, or intuitively you feel that I'm not in the greatest headspace, I want you to talk to me. I want you to come say something to me. I want you to maybe help me slow the game down, or if I'm working too slow, help me speed the game up, because that's what captains do. Captains don't just sit back and wait. Like, if they see something, they address it.
As for Archer's role on the team this year, his plan is pretty simple.
All I can do is focus on one pitch at a time and execute pitches at a high level. We have a great staff, like I've mentioned before, and they've helped me understand how to utilize my pitches to the max. So I plan on going out there and just executing the best I can for however long I can, and in between starts, just be the best teammate I can be.
That'll do it for this edition of Rays All Access. I'm Tricia Whitaker. Before we go, we are going to leave you with some of the sights and the sounds of opening day. It was special for numerous reasons. They unveiled the banners, and fans were welcomed back to Tropicana Field for the first time since October 8th of 2019.